New Artist Spotlight Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this unbelievably extra special episode of the New Artist Spotlight Podcast. I'm here with a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Is it me? Well, it's always me. I'm the man. Apparently, I'm the man.
Here he is again, up to his old tricks. Yeah. So how are you doing, Andres?
I'm good. I'm sorry because for the bad hair day. I just got off work just to be here.
Oh, mate, that's dedication.
So how you doing, Wilko?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. So yeah. So I suppose we're here to talk about my album, which is coming out very soon. So I'm looking forward to that, man. And I'm very busy with it at the moment, trying to sort everything out. I gave myself a bit of a short deadline in terms of arranging a launch party for it as well, where I'm going to be performing the whole thing start to finish. Nice. And yeah, I've got, obviously you mixed it for me, you mixed and mastered the whole thing.
I did.
How did you find the experience?
I think you mentioned it with the last podcast with Carlos from Proyecto Regular. It was pretty much the hardest one I ever had to do. Because of a number of reasons. The first of all being, how to put it? It was all post-shoulder, you know? So everything was like, I got back to work perhaps too early. I was in pain. But now this is the thing. You only had a backing track at yourself. And I had to make an album with just those elements without any flexibility. And they were so... we had a previous experience working with getting sacked. No, wait. Sacked.
Yeah, just sacked.
It's no longer getting sacked. It's now just sacked. Where you did the backing track. And you did all the instrument, the drums, the bass, the little saxophone, I think. Mm-hmm. And we had some sort of flexibility to do that. To play around with those elements and give it a sense of depth and stuff. But the rest of the album, I did not. It was just the backing track and yourself. And it took me I think it was like a 4 channels project and spread across 32 channels of the desk. So yeah, it took a lot of work. But it was hard because you and I are both perfectionists, and we are really intricate into details, and you always wanted more snap.
Yeah, I did, mate. I did. I wanted to be snappy and punchy and and you've delivered on that. To be fair, I think the album sounds really good. I'll talk a little bit about the journey to get here. It's been 3 years now that I've been doing the music thing, and I didn't know whether I'd release an album or not, but for me, it feels now like a great time to close it because I've started learning how to produce and how to make my own beats and play around with loops and this, that, and the other. I see this as like the closing of chapter 1, because it's all my songs that I didn't necessarily write from start to finish, or other people have made beats for me, or I've taken bits of other songs, or this kind of where I don't have all the stems and I don't have the full creative control. So it was good for me to be able to pass that on to you, because with my sort of limited producing skills, even though they are getting better, they're not good enough to...
They actually are. I was always surprised when I heard Cluedo and I want to say Mock on the Wall.
Yeah.
So thanks, I can actually see the improvements. So I'm actually quite proud of you.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm proud of myself, actually, when I think about it. Because the first time, I didn't know anything about how to make a song when I first started. I was doing voice notes on my phone and ripping things off YouTube. And,
That's illegal, mate.
Fair use, obviously, every time.
Is it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem. And well, that's another thing. If anyone wants to sue me, well, hopefully I'll have all those tracks contained on one album. So we'll see.
The thing is, it's your lyrics and it's your melody. So the worst you can do is actually having to surrender some royalties, and that's Sure.
Well, that's it. Yeah, and you know, they're welcome to it. And but yeah, I mean, even there's bits where I've tried to contact whoever owns the rights, and I've just never had a response. So it's there if they want to chase me up. Yeah, exactly. I see a lot, and I don't think like a lot of well, I don't know. There's no such thing as a new idea anyway, is there? Like, I think art is building on what other people have done and taking ideas and making it your own. And I'd be happy for people to use anything of my stuff for free. More than welcome to do that. But yeah, it's been a mad journey, man. Like, and when I remember just the sight of a door used to stress me out, and like, not knowing what all the buttons do and clicking one thing, and it takes you like 10 minutes to realize how to undo what you've just ruined. Yeah. It's so stressful.
What door do you use?
Logic.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've played around. You told me to use something else. I can't remember what it's called. What's it called?
I use Reaper at home. I use Pro Tools at work, but I tried to use Reaper everywhere. Yeah,
it was Reaper that you told me to use. Yeah, but I couldn't really get on with the interface very well. And the thing is, once I started to get off voice notes, that's when I got into GarageBand on my phone, just so that I'd still just have one beat, but then I'd put my headphone and my iPhone earphones in and record some vocals that way. So that was the first time I managed to work out like recording the vocals separately, and then kind of got used to GarageBand. So then that actually made me buy a Mac, because I was like, I want to do this seriously now. I want to have a computer just for videos and music. Yeah, it's just been one bit at a time, like constantly chipping away and trying to learn and trying to improve. And now I'm getting to the point where I have done, like made a song just from scratch, like record it, mix it, master it, put it out, do the cover art, this, that, and the other. There's so much to learn, but now I can do it. Yeah, it's good, man. It's setting me up for the future, because I've got a lot of plans, man. I'm not gonna go anywhere anytime soon.
That's the spirit, mate. Now, this is the thing. Of course, I know about your album. I worked on it, but the rest of the people don't. So first question: what is the name of the album and why?
It's a great question, that, man. Yeah. So the album is called "Life Is Not A Rehearsal," and for me, it's a phrase that my mate Birdie, when I was at uni with him, I used to live with him, and his dad used to say it all the time, "Life is not a rehearsal." And he always said it was a really cool phrase, and it always stuck with me because I thought it was cool as well.
That's illegal too.
No, it's not. No way. No way. And I'll send him £1 or something like it. If he buys it, I'll give him a discount.
£500,000. And
So yeah, and I like it as a phrase. Like, you know, you only get one life. It means a lot to me, because I always dreamed in my head about doing this music thing. I always kind of wanted to do some singing or be a front man. It wasn't necessarily always a rapping, but it was always the daydreams of like being a front man, whether that was in a band or whether it was whatever. And then it wasn't until my late 20s when I started getting the confidence to actually do it. Like my mate Connor, who plays guitar, you've seen some of our covers on YouTube and stuff like that. Yeah.
Did you ever play with your dad?
No, you know what? I didn't much. I think he always wanted to, and I sort of wanted to as well, but I was a bit shy and I was a bit embarrassed. And like we tried a couple of times where I'd sing something, but I was completely out of key, and I'd just give up.
The key of W.
Yeah. Which you've had some experience with on this album as well, haven't you? We've done that quite a few times now, which is nice. You know, I've just got a lot more The thing is, if you want to get good at something, you actually need to just do it consistently and get through that phase of being shit at it. So it's like, I wasn't willing to put myself out there and go through that phase of like singing badly and like having a weak voice, and I could hear myself and it just was nowhere near what I wanted it to be, because like you say, I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I want things to be high standards. So if it's not, I get really sort of, you know, I don't want to put it out there but in the end, it was when I was doing some counselling for depression and stuff like that, and we were going through like unfulfilled things in my life, and I was just like, I started talking about how I'd always wanted to do this, but never really had the confidence. And she was just like, well, what's the worst things that could happen? And then if you know that, you can prepare yourself against them. And it got to the point where the desire to do it just completely outweighed the desire, the shame, or the sort of like the fear, basically, the anxiety of not doing it. So yeah, when I did it, and that's the thing. Like, life is not a rehearsal, If you, even now, we had a good conversation in the artist chat on the Discord the other day, where people were saying how they always feel like they should be doing more, and they always feel like they should be further along and should have released 30 songs instead of 10 or whatever. And I'm the same. Sometimes I catch myself now being like, oh, maybe I should have released like 20 odd songs by now. But it's so. Well, exactly. But the real thing is, like, when I calm myself down from that mindset, it's like, actually, I could still be dreaming about it and not even have one song, and still not know what a door is and how to, anything, any of this stuff, EQing and all this kind of compression and all this stuff that you don't think about. Yeah, and it's been an amazing journey, man. I love it. I love like sitting at my computer and making some music and writing and recording. I love the whole process of getting a track together. Probably my least favorite part is just putting it out there and like promoting it.
It's like I think I feel you, because you said a couple of things there. First about managing expectations about one's career, not about the album itself, but one's career. I remember I started writing music when I was probably a kid, like 13 or something. And I started listening to Queen, which was my very first band of my own, because I used to listen to what my dad used to listen. But I started to listen to Queen when I was, I want to say 16 or 17. And they had released the first album when Freddie Mercury was, I want to say, 26. And then I turned 26, and I was like, okay, I am already behind schedule. I was literally comparing myself as a standard with Queen, not my bandmates, but with Queen. I was like, I'm 26, I haven't released anything. I'm 27, I'm 28. This is not going this way. I should become an accountant like my dad. And then at 28, I released something. I was like, woo, okay. It's only 2 years behind schedule. So yeah, I get it. So from the album, what is the first track you wrote?
The first track that I wrote, it depends. So officially, the only real song that I ever wrote before I started Wilko Wilkes was what is now Gary Hopping.
Love it.
That was written in about 2009 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. There is a story behind that, but I'm not going to tell it right now. So I'm going to tell it at my album launch, I think.
Okay.
So it's exclusive, But then, after that, it was I'm feeling shit. That was like while I was still going through my counselling, and I finally just decided to start writing a verse or something. And I got a couple of lines, and then I went from there. Then it was Stick Around, then Nothing But Regrets. Yeah, I started writing multiple songs at the same time after that. I started writing Stalked by a Stranger, and it took me about 8 months to finish.
What's the story behind that? Behind Stalked by a Stranger?
Is
it a true story?
It's not a true story, but it's not. It's based on sort of a mishmash of 2 or 3 true stories. Like I did get followed in Morley and by a guy who was like bald and wild-eyed and was like following me for a good sort of 3 or 4 minutes, followed me like all the way around the supermarket. In the end, I ended up like running just to get away from him. So that kind of gave me
How old were you?
Mate, it was only like 3 years ago, something like that. It wasn't. It was fairly recent.
So it was just a dude following you.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but he was intimidating me. Yeah, maybe, man, maybe.
The famous Wilko Wilkes from the New Artist Spotlight podcast.
Yeah. Maybe he was a NAS addict. But he might have been an addict of some kind, I think. But
did you say bald? No. He was a bald of NAS fan.
Oh,
Connect the dots.
Bald, yeah. Ed Eagle, yeah. I mean, he was quite a big lad as well. Yeah, it could have been. He could have been trying to like get me on board. Yeah, maybe
2 years prior.
Yeah. It's all starting to make sense now. Yeah. It's crazy, like, when I look back at the journey, really, because it's been, back then, like, my idea was just to get to 10 songs. I was like, good, but that's what kept me going from the start, is I said to myself, I'm going to get to 10 songs. And I thought it'd be easy. I thought I'd be able to do that in a year, but no way. By the end of the first year, I was on like 4, and then I did 4. I did 4 in 2020, 4 in 2021, like, released. And then I was going to be slightly more than 4 this year. But yeah, it's tough, man, isn't it? Like, but people say I don't know how you find as well, like, people say to me all the time, like, oh, you should write a song about, like, you should write a Christmas song, but they'll tell me like 2 days before Christmas, like, yeah, just do it tomorrow, put it out. I'm like, that's not how it works. Like, so
it's not. It's really not.
I don't think people understand how long it takes sometimes before the work surfaces.
I don't think even musicians really know. That was one of the discussions I had with the president of the label. I am signed with a progressive label. It is from the States, Melodic Revolution Records, and I was signed since 2011. So it's been almost more than 10 years. And then I released my first EP, which you could hear, in 2013. I started working on this rock opera, Vote on the Untold Story. And it took me like a year to release the overture. And I was supposed to be releasing one single a month. Impossible. It took me 2 years to release my next track, which was August, when Colin died. But then I was looking back and I was like, okay, it's been 7 years. I have only released 3 tracks. Okay, one was an EP, it was 12 and a half minutes ago long. But it's only 3 tracks in 7 years. And he was like he was getting anxious because he trusted he trusted the quality of the stuff. But he was like, dude, it's like, you're like the slowest. And then when Colin passed, I was like, I mean, I owe it to him. Like, I need to be a better person, a better musician. I was getting my ADHD under control by then. So then I started doing Atypical, and I did the La Balada del Viento del Tiempo. And then I realized I released 10 songs in 10 months. Between the 6th of Atypical, Flores de Abril, which we did the podcast like a year ago, and then Awakening in memory of Colin Tench. And it was like 10 songs in 10 months. And then again, it's been a year. Again.
Does it really? Right. It doesn't feel like a year.
It was August 25th.
Right.
So literally.
It flies, doesn't it? Like,
it does.
At the same time, I think one of the best things about the music thing for me since starting is that it's I feel like it's extending my life, because I feel like when I look back at things, it seems a lot longer ago than it was. And because there's so much like progression, and you've got those lines in the sand, especially with me when I'm doing music videos and I'm trying to pick like myself in them, and so I can kind of watch myself age, or I get like things that I'm doing in them. So it reminds me of that certain time when I was doing it, or like, my wife will take some camera footage when we're out and about somewhere, and then that goes in the video. And I feel it's like sort of like chronicling my life a little bit better. And for me, like, it seems like it could have been 5 years ago that I released Stick Around, for example, or it could have been 10 years ago, or I don't know. Like I look back to when I released Muck on the Wall, and it seems like a lifetime ago. And that was like April this year. Oh no, it was my birthday. It was like June. Yeah. Cluedo was April. Yeah, but it seems like so long, because I feel like because I'm doing so much on the music side, I'm cramming a lot more into every day. Yeah, it's keeping me motivated in like all aspects of my life. It's making me more productive, and I value my time a bit more. So yeah, man, I really love that. And I do still feel like, in a way, that I'm making up for lost time. But I couldn't have started any sooner either, because it was a natural process, and I think it needed to happen the way that it did. And when I was younger, I didn't have the confidence. There's other things that have helped give me confidence along the way as well, like my relationship with my wife, and like Andy's Man Club as well. That's kind of really been a big boost for me as well, doing mental health talking groups and learning to sort of deal with the stresses and anxieties and depressions of life in a more level-headed manner by talking about it more outwardly. Same with my music, like Nothing But Regrets, ABCD Depression. There's a strong theme around like depression and mental health within a lot of my songs. Yeah, go on.
I need you to pronounce ABCD Depression again, for the audience.
ABCD Depression.
ABCD Depression.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a capital E as well, isn't it? It's a capital E. So I did think about that quite a few times. Like,
no, that was clever.
Thanks, man. There was some debate as to whether I should have capitalized the E or not, but for me, it worked. But yeah,
if you had to pick now, give me another sentence with an X, because X is for xylophone.
If it wasn't xylophone, it'd have to be X-ray.
Oh.
That's the only. The thing is, I did actually. Yeah. I mean, I tried, but to actually construct like a sentence beginning with X. To be honest, I didn't try that hard because I always wanted X to be xylophone. Because I just think that's funny. It's like just that little joke, isn't it? Like X is whatever. It doesn't matter what charts you read as a kid and whatever. X is always just xylophone.
Yeah.
Plus, I've started getting a xylophone. Like I've got a mini xylophone now, which I get out when I do that at gigs, and then I'll bang the xylophone, hold it up to the crowd. So like, but that's a nice little fun thing as well. That's a good example of like how I like to be with my music as well. Like you've got like 2.5 minutes of solid, like real intense depressive rapping, and then you turn it on its head completely with a little last line twist and a bit of silliness. I think that kind of runs throughout a lot of
that's part of your thing, and that's probably why. I mean, I am a fan of you, and I have to admit it. I have always been a fan since I met you the first time. I'm not really big on rap, but I do get the creativeness. I do have a very similar sense of humor, and of course, Stalked by a Stranger is pretty serious. But then you send something like Sacked and Championship Manager, and I was like, this is genius. There's an entire song written in 40 minutes about a video game, something anyone can relate. I couldn't because I'm not really much of a football fan. I'm more of a basketball fan. But all of my friends, including my best friend, he does play Championship Manager. So
I hope you sent the song to him.
I did, but he doesn't really speak much of English. So I mean, he understood some of the references, but not the entire thing.
It's easily done.
And then the same, and you'll talk about this in your album launch. Same with Gary Hopping. Gary Hopping, in my opinion, is one of my favorite songs of your album. I think people may know it already because it's on your YouTube. Could you just give a little hint of what it is without explaining the context and?
Oh, I can explain the context. No worries. So it's a song. Yeah, it's a song about a goalkeeper who was the greatest. He turned from a nobody into the greatest goalkeeper that the world has ever seen. It's a bit of a strange song, but I think. I mean, I can tell it now. I'll tell. So basically, I originally wrote it about a guy who was on our six-a-side team. So we used to play football. And his name rhymed with Gary Hopping. And I put this out, and it was quite funny at the time, but then it became a bit of a shackle around his neck because people started singing it to him and stuff like that. And like, I didn't I didn't really mean it to be like, taking the mick out of him. We were good friends at the time. So, and then I felt a bit bad about it, but then YouTube took it down anyway. But then, like 10 years later, when I decided that I needed to really it was my mate Chris Linden from Linden Entertainment in Newcastle who runs a studio, and I was talking to him, and he was like, if you ever want to like come and record a track, I'll give you some free studio time. And then that kind of sat in me, and that seed just sort of grew for a few months. And then I contacted him and said, I've got this one track that I wrote 10 years ago, like we could maybe record that. And then I asked my mate if I could use his name, and he was like, no, I want you to change the name. So I changed the name to Gary Hopping, but kept the track the same. So some of the references, I think they sound a little bit bizarre to people who sort of don't know the story, they probably just think, what the hell is this guy on about? Like, but yeah, some people, I think it's a real Marmite track. I know it's been chopped and changed down the years so much that I don't think I don't love it anymore. Yeah, I don't love it anymore, but I do think it's funny, and some people love it, so that's good enough for me.
Yeah, that's the thing with the album. When you get serious, Stalked by a Stranger, ABCDE, Pression, and then you have Gary Hopping and Sackton Championship Manager, completely unrelated yet related between them songs, and then you have stuff like Nothing But Regrets and Yorkshire. Speaking about Yorkshire, you just released the single version of Yorkshire like a couple of days ago. Was that the last song you wrote for the album?
It's a good question. I think it was the last. Yeah, I think it was the last song that I wrote that's on the album. But I did write it. I probably finished writing it about a year ago, and then I actually recorded it at one point. But then I re-recorded it when we did it together because I wasn't entirely happy with my performance on the actual final recording. But so yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of sort of setbacks along the way in getting this album. It feels to me like over the last 12 months, it's been slow progress towards this. I should also mention as well that I'm getting funded from Help Musicians for this album, which I'm really grateful for because they've been able to give me some money to work on this. Anyone in the UK, I'd recommend like applying for some funding through Help Musicians Record and Release Fund. But I'm able to spread that about as well, obviously paying you to do the mixing and mastering, and I've got other people on board to do different services, and I've got an artist called Lentz supporting me at my album launch party as well, who's an artist that I really like, and I'm able to pay him, and I've been able to buy CDs, some merch, all sorts of stuff with it. So it's been really cool, but it has dragged on a little bit. It has taken ages. But I do like that it's kind of now pretty much as good as finished. In fact, I'll show you this. World exclusive. I actually have
I was about to ask you
one of the CDs now.
A physical print.
Yeah, man. It's arrived.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I've got a little booklet inside as well. I've got the picture disc. Little booklet inside with some thanks on, and he even thanked a man named Andres Guazzelli in there as well. So, yeah, man, it's good. I'm just trying to compile it all now, yeah, man.
Now, let me ask you this: Yorkshire, 135 places. Have you been everywhere?
I haven't been everywhere, man. There's still some places I've got to go. You didn't listen to the song. No, I've been to Binridden. I haven't been to Penistone or Featherstone or Goole or all the rest that I didn't get in, but I'll be seeing them soon. Yeah, there's a few places I haven't been to. I put it on Reddit and it got quite a good response.
So many places.
Yeah, it's a good little sample that in it.
That was good. That was one of the things I wanted to boost. In Yorkshire, I didn't have separation between the stems on the water track. But that little ad lib, I've been in so many places. I was like, oh man, I need to boost this. This has to be more audible, louder. It has to be like, and I couldn't because I was raising the drums. And I was like, no.
No, it sounds good anyway, man. Yeah, well, yeah, no, this is the thing. Part of the reason it took so long is because I'd be saying, you'd be like, I just want to add this little bit. It's going to take me another 2 weeks. Is that all right? And I'm like, you could just send it to me how it is. And you're like, no. I can't send you it yet. I really want to do this.
That was Gary Hopping. That was Gary Hopping. I don't want to tell the story, but you had a wonderful version on YouTube. It was just you and guitar. I think it was Connolly.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, Wilko can really sing. He can sing. And then I was like, okay, do exactly that on the album. And I'm like, no, man, this is rap. Doesn't matter. It's in the key of W. Nope.
Yeah, man. And because the backing track had changed as well. So it's all, yeah, I mean, what it is now is a Frankenstein's monster of a track. But you know what? It's finished now. That's the final version. That's the one that's going on Spotify. So people can like it or lump it. And I'm sure they will.
So tell me about the album launch.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, man. It's at the Underground in Bradford, September 18th. I've done it on a Sunday, 1:30 till 4:30 in the afternoon, so that people can come and see me who've got kids and stuff like that. A lot of my friends can't usually come because it's always on a Friday night or a Saturday night or whatever. So I wanted it to be accessible. I wanted it to be people to be able to come along and not have to be a drinking session or whatever. So people can just come in the afternoon, get home in time for tea. I'm going to be performing the album start to finish, including playing the intro and outro as well, which I did the intro, you worked on the outro. So again, I think that's a nice little, like, there's so many things in that album that kind of tie together a nice story, and that's one of them, I think. It's good, man. Yeah, so the album launch, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be the longest set that I've played. Probably be on stage for about 50 minutes, something like that. Maybe even about an hour if I ramble on between songs.
Are you inviting your friend who inspired Gary Hopping?
You know what? I don't think I've sent him an invite. He doesn't really speak to me these days. We drifted apart, really, but I don't. It might be because of the song. But he's a good lad, though. You know, maybe I should send him a message and invite him. To be fair, yeah. I've invited most of the people I speak to. I know I think I've got at least 50 people coming. Maybe up to about 100 if we can do some good job of promoting it and see what happens, man. But it'll be. It'll be good. I'm just going to try and enjoy it. And I need to do some practice before then as well. I need to do some serious practice.
Are you playing the album in order?
Yeah.
Are you playing something outside the album, like another?
I don't think so, man, but I've not worked it out yet. Like, I think what if people like want an encore, then I might treat them to an unreleased track or something like that. You know, who knows? But I think the idea is just to play the album start to finish. And I kind of designed the track list with that in mind as well, because I wanted it to, it's sort of like, it's like the first few tracks is a good introduction and sort of high pace with Daddy Shark, and You Can't Stop Time's a good introduction as well, and then Yorkshire, all sort of introductory, who I am, where I'm from, that kind of thing. Then it's all the depression, then it's the silliness with the football, then it's the new track for my wife, which I'll leave people to buy the album if they want to hear that. And then or just stream it when it comes out, and then finish with One Chance Now and Stick Around, which are both kind of empowering tracks about the journey and like what I want to do and sort of have a few of my sort of core beliefs in, and and then fade it out with the outro with the beautiful, is it a bugle that you put on there?
I think it was a French one.
Right, yeah, that'd be good, man. So looking forward to it.
Okay, so you released the single Yorkshire.
I did.
You mentioned a little bit about the album, about the song. Can you comment a little bit more about Yorkshire?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so it's it's. I mean, so there's a thing with Yorkshire, like probably like anywhere. There's a load of stereotypes, and I think a lot of people identify with that and play into that, and that's fine. But I've never really identified with like what they talk about, flat caps and whippets and all sort of Yorkshire lingo and stuff like this. And I wanted to write a track about Yorkshire, but I wanted to write a track about like my Yorkshire and how I know it. And having worked in like local government and in like various charities and public sector and all sorts around, I've been everywhere in Leeds, and I've been everywhere in around Bradford, and I've been we've got some great like in the Yorkshire Dales, we've got like some big hills, and it's quite an amazing place to look at scenery wise. So I wanted to just sort of take a whistle stop tour around Yorkshire in the lyrics, and it was inspired by the song I've Been Everywhere. Do you know that song? It was made famous by Johnny Cash. So I sort of wanted it to be my sort of Yorkshire version of that. And I enjoyed writing it, similar to ABCD Depression. It was a bit like a puzzle to write, trying to find rhyming couplets in amongst the names, and there's a few little local references in there. And I'm always amazed when people in NAS like really identify to my tracks, even when I like pepper them with so many obscure local references, or like Z-list celebrities that people have never heard of. And but it's good, man. I like doing it. It's just my style. So Yeah, I had a lot of fun with Yorkshire, and I think it'll be a good one when I do play it live. I'll be playing it live for the first time at my album launch.
Nice.
So I do need to do a little bit of practice on it as well. Make sure that I'm getting it every time. And yeah, it was a fun one, and I'm pleased with it. I'm happy with the video as well. Are you going to show the video, or are you just going to play the track?
Do you want to play the video?
Yeah, I might as well play the video, man. Just spend a few hours on that one. Yeah.
Have you pitched it to Spotify?
Yeah, I've pitched every song that I've released. I've pitched to Spotify, and I've never heard anything from them. So same with BBC Introducing as well. There's a few where I don't know what you got to do to get on them lists, but I'll keep.
We should
trying,
ask Coastal Town.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think there's any secret to it. By the sounds of it, like it needs to be a good song. I think you probably just need to get into the right person's ears at the right time, doesn't it? Need someone to hear.
But it will become an anthem.
Yeah, I hope so, man. It's spreading quite.
It will become a Yorkshire anthem.
I hope so, man. Yeah, that'd be great. Like, I've noticed a few people sharing it in Facebook groups and stuff like that, and so yeah, that's really cool. Like, people are obviously enjoying it. I just need to get it out there to even more people, really. And I say the promotion side's tough, man. I don't spend loads of time on it because I don't necessarily enjoy it that much. But I do. I think this is probably my first track out of all of them that I think probably has sort of some more mass appeal. Definitely for people in Yorkshire, anyway.
Okay, would you like to introduce it?
Yeah, man, I'll do the honours. This is Yorkshire, I've Seen It All by Wilko Wilkes.
I grew up on the mean streets of Menston and Ilkley. But those aren't the only places I've been. I've been around. I've seen it all. I've been to Bradford and Leeds, now I'm living in Bingley. Been to Swillington, Driglington, been to Baildon and Tingley. Been to Sheffield, Slough, Stanley, Selby and Skipton. Giggleswick, Grassington, Garth of Guiseley and Gipton. I've had bevies in Beverley, got on it in Ossett. Sang a song in Tong with a fella from Hong Kong. Bramley Chapel, Allerton and Wath-on-Dearn. Sowerby Bridge, Seacroft, Settle and Saltburn. I've been to Woodlesford, Wakey, been to Kippax and Cass. Went to Eureka as a kid and honestly thought it was class. If I need to go to IKEA, I hop it over to Birstall. For the cinema and the bowling, though it's usually Kirkstall. Seeing sheep, cows, pigs and chickens running through farms. Those pheasants and deer on the road up by the Ryther Rams. Hornsey and Hull, Sherburn and Elmet and Pudsey. Been disgusted by the prices of the houses in Old Woodley. Jumped the Bracken in Addingham, rented a room in Broome. Whatever you did at Winston's, it's not for me to presume. I saw a hare in Harewood, a hippie in Hipperholme, a horse in Horsforth, Robin Cock at Ellen Road. I saw Zach Dingle near the cricket club in Thackley, Chris Wilder in Otley, Deontay in Batley, Shipley and Saltaire, Haworth, it's all home. In school we once went swimming at the Doncaster Dome. My brother just started renting in the centre of York. Lishmans and Wilsons have always sorted me out with pork. I've been to Chapeltown, Rothwell, out to Whitby and Flamborough. Sung along with Billy Pearce at the Bradford Alhambra. Been to Micklethwaite, Manningham, Meanwood, Morley, East Morton, Huddersfield, Harden, Rotherham, Roundhay and Rawdon, Hebden Bridge, Hunslet, Hare Hills, Harrogate and Heckmanwike. I lost my lucky lighter at the laundrette in Leicester Dyke. Loft House, Frising Hall, Hewby and Wheaton. Out to Robin Hood's Bay, back to Queensbury and Steeton. Been to Bugden and Leithley, Armley and Beeston, Knaresborough and Keighley, Scarborough and Yeadon. Belle Isle sounds like paradise to those who've never been. The raining wet wang does what it says on the tin. I've been to Gilderson, Winmore, Shadwell, Thornton and Farsley, Blubber Houses, Bramham, Brimham, Rocks and Barnsley. As a kid we took the bucket and the spade to Filey, back when Eschalt had Shadrach and Lisa Riley, that's right. I've been there and I've seen a lot. I admit there's probably even some I might have forgot, like when I ate an apple in Appley Bridge, when I burned in Burnsall, cooked in Cookridge. I've been to Malham, Masham, Moortown, Middleton, Carverley, Dewsbury, Wortley, Riddleston. Someone followed me in Cleckheaton and I had to skedaddle. I met my idol in Idle and had a paddle in Addle. I've been to Aysgarth Falls, I tell you I've seen it all. Every week I went to B&I at Wheatwood Hall. Holbeck, Malton, Arthington and Willesden, Gargrave, Farnley, Ingleton and Silsden, Halifax, Ponty, Ripon and Lowmore. There can't be many more places that I haven't explored. Burley and Wharfdale conjures a lot of memories. I'll be here when I'm gone, but I don't know that I'll ever be like a student in Headingley or Bielsa in Wetherby. I want to leave a mark on the streets that I roam, a legacy for better in this county we call home. The most passionate, compassionate people I've ever known. You got a friend in me, and so you're never alone. So when I'm around in town, take a minute to say hello, cause I'll be gone in a flash. There's still some places I've got to go. I haven't been to Penistone or Featherstone or Goole and all the rest that I didn't get in, but I'll be seeing them soon. Oh no, you gotta be kidding. I've missed out Ben Riddin.
Man, what a track. I know it because I worked on it, and also I feature on it. I don't know if you knew it.
Yeah. Well, you told me. Yeah. I'm glad that you featured on it as well. Yeah,
we were trying to do the chanting. Yeah.
Yeah, you did a good job on that, man.
It was a hard thing to do because I was not getting the sound you wanted. I was like, oh man. And then I asked Jack, from Arnoldo's Lizards, to join. And she's like, yeah, man, what do we have to do? And then we never did it. And and I was like, I had to send this out. And I was like, okay, I have to do it myself. So I recorded like 24, 25, 28 times. And I was like, Yorkshire, all from different angles.
That's brilliant, man.
Depths. And I was like, okay, I think this somewhat resembles an audience. So maybe he'll like it, maybe he'll hate it. I hope he likes it. And you did. So
yeah, I loved it, man. Yeah, you did a really good job on that. Yeah,
it's a great track, man. It's actually a great album.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. I think I'm pleased with it overall. The thing is, I'm always like, I don't know about you, but I'm always looking at the next thing as well. Like my head's already in the game. Like I've got 2 more songs that I've written that I want to get recorded.
I was about to ask you what's next.
Yeah. So I've got 2 more songs that are fully written, and I'm going to record them next week, I think.
Nice.
My wife's going away for a couple of nights, so I like to do my recording at like midnight on a Tuesday, so that there's no traffic noise outside or anything like that, because I'll do it here. Yep. So it has to be like late at night, and usually she's in bed if I'm shouting and rapping at midnight on a Tuesday, but if she's not here, she can't tell me to turn it down. No, yeah. The neighbours, on the other hand, might not be too pleased, but I'll try and make it as quick as possible. But yeah, so then once they're done, I'll have to just do some mixing and mastering on them. I'm looking forward to that. So I've finished the beats. I've got another like 2 beats that are pretty much finished as well. One, I think I know what I'm going to do with it, but it'll be a bit of a novelty track. And the other one... Are
you doing the beats yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing them myself. So I don't make my own loops, but I do use loops because I know there's like purists who think you should just make everything from scratch, but not for me, because I want to actually like finish things, and I want to be able to get music out, and I don't want to spend 8 months on one beat when I can do something quality that somebody else has put together and just put my own spin on it. But yeah, man, I really, really, like actually doing this album launch has been so much admin. Like I've got this list in front of me of all the stuff that I've had to do. So uploading it to DistroKid, then you've got to specify when the good part starts. You've got to do the lyrics. I've had to book the venue for the album launch, plan an agenda, book the support act, message people, which took ages, sync the lyrics, collect all the information.
Are you doing everything by yourself?
Yeah, man, doing it all by myself. Pretty much doing it all by myself. And like I work a full-time job as well, so I do that. And then as soon as it's like the evening, I'll start getting onto my music stuff. And it feels like I'm just in my office all the time at the moment, like work. Because a lot of the music stuff I'm doing isn't creative. So really what I'm looking forward to is after this album launch is having a bit of a period between now and Christmas where I can just work on actually like music, being creative again, making some beats, putting some songs together, going back to the sort of really enjoyment side of it. Because I don't think I'll be planning another event anytime soon, man. It's taken up a lot of mental headspace, and just even trying to sort something simple. Like I thought I'm going to get a couple of t-shirts with Wilko Wilkes logo on, and it just takes a lot longer than you think. Like trying to work everything out, or like they're like, okay, well, we need some sort of vectoring image for this, and blah blah blah, and I don't know. There's all sorts, man. But yeah, setting up the event doing like I've obviously redone all my logos and stuff recently as well for the album, doing the album sleeve art, stuff like that, getting a barcode for the album so that it can be registered on, like sales can be registered. and I can sell it in record shops, and there's a million things, man. And so I'm sort of looking like it'll be amazing on the day, and I don't want to wish it away, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to kind of finishing. And then in October, I'm going to Turkey for a week on all-inclusive holiday. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, man. Then I can just zone out for a week. And then, hopefully come back refreshed and start making some more tunes.
Is this your first solo concert?
So, as in, you mean like my first headline concert, or
Pretty
how
much,
do you mean solo? Like, no, it's not, I guess. No, I mean, the first gig that I did was a busking festival in Bradford in August last year. And that was the dream for me as well at the start, was just to do one gig. So I did that. It was amazing. Like, probably not for everyone else, but for me, it was like a massive milestone. Like,
who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I've got the poster up on my wall there, Buskiville, just with my name on it. So that's nice. You'll see as well. You'll see a Wilko Wilkes one there. That was my first headline gig that I did at the Peacock in Bingley. So that was cool as well. Yeah, I've been making memories, but this is going to be the best one yet, because it's going to be my longest set. I've never done over about I think maybe 8 or 9 songs. I think I did 10 songs before, but this is going to be sort of like 13 to 15. Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. I'm going to have my family there and my friends there and stuff like that. It should be a good party.
I wish I could be there.
Well, you can, mate. It's not too late. Come over. You've got 12 days to sort it out.
Just a plane ticket is like a year with a friend. So yeah.
Can't we set up like a GoFundMe page to get you over? I'll throw in £5.
I should start doing features, like, I don't know, £500,000 instead of £1 million, £500,000, and then I could,
Yeah, man, then you can do it. Yeah, it'd be great, man. Yeah. I'm a bit skint at the moment after having to pay for your, to save your arm. So, but that was good. It was good of me single-handedly saving your arm. So
yeah, from amputation.
But that's interesting as well, isn't it? Like, that's the new artist spotlight thing as well. Like, this album, like, we wouldn't be sat here having this conversation if you hadn't broken your arm, if you didn't have the problem with your shoulder, because I won that mix from you, didn't I?
Yeah, that's
Saxon Championship
right.
Manager, and that's how we
that's how we started. With the sweepstakes.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I think I was picking your brains about the album anyway, like how to make it cohesive and stuff, because I don't think I would have been able to do it on my own, really. But yeah, I learned a lot in the process, man. It's good, and it'll stand me in good stead for the future. I always think about, like, I speak to loads of musicians recently. I don't know about you, but I speak to loads of people who are like, "Oh yeah, I used to love that. Yeah, I used to be on Ableton every night, and I used to make loads of music, and then I just gave up." And I'm always interested to know why people give up, and I'm like, why did you give up? And it's like, oh, I moved house and I couldn't be bothered unpacking all my equipment again, or I got a girlfriend and she didn't want me sitting on my computer all night every night, and it just drifted off. This is the
secret. You should always get a girlfriend who is an artist.
I don't know, man. My wife's not an artist. She understands it though. She gets it. You just need a.
That's a risk. That's a risk worth taking.
Yeah, I think it's all about communication. You need to set expectations. Yeah. And when I started, after that counselling session, when I started this, I spoke to her before I spoke to anyone else, and I just said, look, this is something I've kind of always wanted to do. Is just, and I just want to spend a bit more time and effort into like doing something musical, whether that's like putting out some covers or doing some songwriting or whatever. I want to put some time aside to do it, because it'll help like fulfill me. I feel it's a real unfulfilled thing. And we talked about it. But I don't think back then she knew how serious I was about it. But in my head, it was like a switch had been flicked, and I knew then I was going to be getting to that 10 songs. No matter how much I had to learn on the way, or no matter what happened, I was going to be taking this seriously, and I was going to be doing a gig at some point. And
look at you now. You're now producing your own stuff. You're mixing your own stuff.
Yeah, it's class,
That's a long way from home.
And and I sometimes think about that because there's so much time that I put into that, like the process of going from complete beginner to being able to mix my own tracks and understand what's going on. But I've got that now for life. Like, if I want to, if I had the time, I could probably write and release a song in probably not a day, but if I had two days of solidly working on something, I could probably get there. Probably wouldn't be great, but whereas before it was taking me months, and I was having to pay other people to do stuff, because that's another thing with my music. I've always tried to do it like breaking even. I try not to spend it try not to spend any money on it really. And I've managed to do that. I've managed to run it like at cost basically, because I've managed to get some funding in from Help Musicians and from Bradford Producing Hub. I've learned to do the making beats myself, and I had mentoring with a guy called Hashfinger, who's a hip hop producer, and he's really, really good. And he's made beats for loads of rappers, and he sort of came around for a couple of afternoons and broke it all down for me and did it on my computer and showed me and talked me through frequency spectrums and this, that, and the other, and just filled up loads of information that then came in handy at a later date. It makes me feel good to think about it, and it's helped. Like, it's massively helped to bring on like me as a person. Like, my confidence levels and my levels of depression and stuff like that are so much reduced from what they used to be, and like angst, and like I still have my moments. I still have days where I'm just like, I don't have much joy inside me, but at the same time, I know it's going to pass, and I know that I've got something I can look back on and be proud of, and go. And I've got this as evidence for the future now. If there's something that I just think is a pipe dream and you can't do it, I don't really think that anymore. I think, well, it's achievable. All you need to do is put the time into it and try and get good at something and try and learn something. And this is another thing I've learned, even just speaking to some of the people in NAS or speaking to people in real life who I meet who are amazing musicians. None of them think they're amazing musicians. They're always noticing their own mistakes, and they're like, "Oh, they might be shredding this unbelievable guitar solo."
I think it's a mistake, actually.
Yeah. Nobody's faultless, are they? Like, and I think it's so easy to let your fear like dominate, kind of not putting yourself out there or not releasing anything, or like a lot of people just sit on songs for years and or they're just trying to wait for everything to be perfect, or it's just trying to like, don't know, man. It's it's not going to be the case. But that's the thing. If you actually just draw a line under something and release it and then move on, you'll learn from that experience.
That's actually what I'm doing now. The first track I'm releasing, I actually wrote it 6 years ago.
Is this the one that's going to be the first one with vocals on?
Yeah.
You've been talking about that for so long, man. People need it now.
Oh, God. It's been written since 2016. I recorded the vocals last September, with the ceiling falling off and then I having to move from the flat. That process halted. But then now I have Flor, my girlfriend. She just recorded the backing vocals for it. And then I'm getting the lizards to get backing vocals as well. So I'm getting this massive choir sound, which is pretty much a very Andres thing to do. But yeah, it's been on the shelf for 6 years.
So when's it coming out?
And then my next track, also with vocals, it's been on the shelf for 2 years. And then I have an original, which I started I think this March when I was camping, right before, the shoulder.
So when are they coming out, man?
I don't know.
You see, this is the thing, like, you need to give yourself a date. You need to say, right, this is going to be out in January.
No, okay, let's do this. I'm actually finishing 2 jobs. I think I'm finishing the last one around this week. And then I'm taking 3 weeks off. No work. I've been pretty much non-stop since March. Shoulder and stuff, and then a little...
full on, man. You do a lot.
And I haven't really had a day off, a true day off, since March. I'm feeling I'm completely burned out at this point. So I'm taking 3 weeks off to not do any work. I mean, yes, I'm going to write stuff with Flor. I'm going to record my own music, but I need it. Just, I don't know, waking up at 11 in the morning, going to bed at 3 a.m. after binging Breaking Bad, I don't know. And then I'm going to record the final vocals for the track. And it may be out it's actually September, maybe by the end of October.
Right.
Maybe late October.
Oh, that'd be pretty impressive, man. Are you not going to give it the whole like sort of 6-week lay-in and all the pitching and all that?
Okay, November 12th.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, this is an NAS exclusive, November 12th. My new track, my first track with vocals. It's called El Verde, which translates to the green. Okay, November 12th. Is it a Friday? I don't know.
That's exciting, man. What, is it already scheduled?
No, I haven't even. I just decided it.
Right, yeah, that'll do, man. Yeah, I don't know what date Friday, November 12th is. Is it a Friday?
I have no idea. I just said it.
Yeah. Well, there it is, November 12th.
Between November 7th and November 17th.
I've just released on a Sunday for the first time. It's a Saturday, mate, November 12th. So that's quite good.
Okay, November 11th.
Yeah. I don't know about releasing on Fridays anymore. I feel like a lot of people go out Friday night. So if it doesn't kind of get initial traction.
It's mostly because of Discover Weekly and all that stuff.
But I've tried releasing on other days and it still gets into Discover Weekly. Because that's just to do with following.
I'm not really big on Spotify. I have actually no idea. I've been learning all of this on NAS. I had before joining NAS, I had like 6 monthly listeners.
Yeah.
One of them was Colin, probably.
They were all you. Yeah. Colin Tench, a legend.
A legend. The icon.
Yeah, no, I think I managed to get to about 100 or something, but a lot of that's just like, dailyplaylist.com or other sort of like just pitching to get on playlists and
I had no idea about that.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's all stuff to learn, isn't it? Like, so it's like now, yeah. So now I've got something on Spotify. You sort of like when you've not done it as well, you kind of think that you'll be able to put a track out there and people will just hear it. Like Spotify will start recommending it to people, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I like this," and it does not work that way at all, does it? Like, it's a constant grind. Like, but again, I'm trying not to do much of that because I don't really enjoy it. Like peddling to playlists and stuff. I much prefer just meeting people or playing live gigs or doing a bit of busking or whatever. Like, I like the sort of people to people thing. I don't really like the messaging faceless playlists or, just kind of spending a load of time on Excel spreadsheets or just like, all this stuff. I understand. Yeah, it's not for me. Like, I want to spend more. Yeah, I just want to spend more time like creating, and that's the dream, really.
Every second spent on doing, marketing and all this stuff is 1 minute less spent on writing on creative stuff. So yeah,
I do think it's a balance, though. I think, yeah, I think you got to have some.
There will come a point where we have enough money, to pay a manager and have everything that's sorted out. We'll get there. Maybe,
man. Maybe.
I just want to create music. I just want to sit on the piano and record. That's what I do. I don't like pitching to Spotify. I don't like trying to make my people. It's the death of the soul.
Yeah, you're right, man. But it's also a labor of love. So it's like,
it is.
If I was doing it for somebody else, then I'd be really bored. But at least there's like that little carrot of like, it is your own stuff, and you kind of feel like it'd be good if somebody listened to it.
Response is like, I don't know. Yes, I like your track, April. Yeah, I didn't like the hi-hat, so no.
Yeah. Well, can you change that?
Was it Gavin who said something like that?
Who?
Gavin Waldby. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. So I call him Gavin.
I'm really not good with English.
Yeah, Gavin. Yeah. Gavin. Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, I think he did say something about that. I mean, that's been cool as well. That's been another great thing about New Artist Spotlight for me is like getting to do these, like just getting to meet and chat to so many different artists and pick their brains and learn from them. And it's been amazing, man. It's all part of one cool journey. And I think that's, again, coming back to the album title, Life Is Not A Rehearsal. For me, life, the thing, we're only here once. It's a ride. You've got to enjoy the journey. And that's one thing I've learned as I've got older as well. And something I've been thinking about a lot more recently. It's if you're not enjoying the present and you're not doing things with passion, then what's the point?
Yeah, pretty much. I think we might be running out of time. We're not going to do a take 5 now. This is going to be the first non-Take 5 episode. I know you're dying.
Can I just call you up on that, Andres? Because Take 5 is Plummy's gig. I think you mean the Quickfire 5.
I mean,
the world famous Quickfire 5.
The world famous NAS Quickfire 5.
No, the one that you edit every week. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I mean, I edit twice, both.
Oh, you do Plummy's as well, do you?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, good work, man. Good work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do a lot, man, and it's appreciated as well. And on behalf of all of the New Artist Spotlight, man, you do a lot for the community, and we love you, even if you are like disgustingly handsome and 6'7" or whatever you are. It's a disgrace, man. And musically talented, and you've got a lot, man.
Thanks, mate.
But yeah, appreciate you.
See ya. Wilko, where can everyone find you on social media?
They can find me just by searching Wilko, Wilko, and then Wilkes with a Wilkes. If they search Wilko Wilkes and they spell it correctly, they'll find me. I'm everywhere. Yeah.
When can we expect new GIFs? GIFs.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Is it GIFs? Is it GIFs? GIFs?
We say GIFs. Yeah, it's GIFs here. Yeah.
GIFs.
I don't know about on the Falklands or anywhere like that, but it's GIFs here. Yeah, I should put some new GIFs together from the Yorkshire video. The thing is, at the moment, I've got so little time, and I've got so many things outstanding on my list that I need to do before the 18th for 12 days, and I can just see the days ticking away. So just little fun things like making some new GIFs. I might do that when I'm in Turkey. I'm sat on a sun lounger with a cocktail. Then I'll throw some GIFs up there. Yeah. Or unless anyone out there wants to make new GIFs of me, please feel free, because I'm more than happy for you to take any of my videos and make any GIFs that you want out of them, as long as you put Wilko Wilkes on the tags so that I can find them.
There you go.
Yeah, man. But yeah, no, thanks for having me, man. It's been a pleasure to speak to you as always.
Thanks for having me, did you say?
Yeah. Well, you were sort of the host.
Was I really? I don't think I ever hosted. I think I was the host, really. I wasn't even a guest. What was I? I was just here.
Yeah, you were the sounding board. Well, no, you worked on the album too, man, and I appreciate it. You're as close to it as anyone. So, thanks for your efforts on it. So, again, I've always got that little piece of Andres Guazzelli in me now as well. That piece of work that we did together. It was a great time, man, and it was nice to have that opportunity to work with you in a detailed way. Yeah, it's great, man, and like I say, I put a thank you in my album notes with your name on as well. Yeah, thanks, man. It's a real NAS loving. And also, since Origin didn't want to join us today for the love-in, I will give him a little bit of a shout out just to say hello. But it's his fault if he's not getting this love in. If he wants to be here and get loved, then he can do it anytime he likes.
Origin love.
We love you, Origin.
We love you.
We love you. Come back, my cuddle bear. So yeah, thank you again for having me, Andres, and thanks to anybody who's got this far as well and listening at home, and everybody who's pitching in with to make NAS what it is and give independent artists a platform to get their music out there, get the music heard, get some feedback, help each other out. It's awesome. So I love every one of you, and hope to see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
New Artist Spotlight Podcast.